As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan?
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And today, Crystal, we're going to have a great show.
We are going to have a fantastic show. We have the real McCoy sales kind of guy in the studio. And then we have a brand new, well, she's not brand new. She's actually had a book, one book before, but this is a novel. So about her journey through life. And it's a pretty fantastic book. So we're going to have a great show.
Excellent. I can't wait.
So what do you think about the new backdrop in the studio?
Well, I'm loving this. We're looking like we're taking the next step to the next level.
I know. It looks good. So those of you that are tuned in, especially on Facebook Live, you guys are always saying that the backdrop is backwards, but that's because you're seeing it in a reverse reflection, however that works. But however, our backdrop now is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be like news studios.
That's what I'm talking about. We're stepping up our game. And for 2018, we're going to be in a much better place.
We are.
Tell them a little bit about our public access TV show that we're doing. Crystal.
And as well as, so we just did this 2 weeks, I guess in November, we shot our first 2 episodes on West Hollywood Access Channel 36. And then I think it goes from there to an ATT Uverse channel. I'll have to find out what that channel is. Mm-hmm. So we're trying our space or our show, the Business Zone, in live television, which is very much different from live radio.
That's true. So we're taking the Business Zone to the next level. Not only are we doing radio, but we're also doing television. And we want to reach as many small businesses as possible. For those of you who are just tuning in right now, you're on the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. And the phone number to call in is 323-293-3375. That's 323-293-3375. So if you need to give us a call and chime in on our conversation, please feel free. We'd love that.
Yes, please do. So, Gilbert, you had a pretty active week, right?
Oh, yeah. So it was unbelievable. I went to Sacramento and Stockton on Monday, and I left. And on Friday, while I was here in the studio, somehow after I left here, I contracted this flu. So then when I got to Sacramento on Monday, this flu got crazy on me. So I lost my voice. And I had a workshop the next day.
Oh, goodness. So what did you do? You had to go mute? Did you have a mute workshop?
I was thinking about that. I'm going, oh, my Lord, now I'm going to have to just make signs and all of that. But I drank a lot of lemon juice, and it kind of cleared up my voice a little bit. I still couldn't speak very well. So it was strange.
You're around people a lot. I don't do a lot of different people, but when I am around people, I take Airborne, which is that wonderful miracle drug that a teacher created because she was catching colds all the time from the kids.
We should bring them on as a sponsor of the show.
Yeah. So she and you get all kinds of germs from children. Yeah. So you are around people more than I am.
Yes, I am.
And I am on a whole cleansing thing. I'm all about taking care because I hate you. You heard me. You weren't here when we had Dr. Emil from Kaiser. I don't do shots. I don't do none of that.
Yeah, I don't.
What I do is take care of Crystal so she don't have to do a whole lot of doctoring.
I don't do any of that. Those shot stuff. Getting sick just to get better. No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But we went when we went there on Monday. Tuesday was the workshop in Sacramento, and when Wednesday we had a pitch with some entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So it was an amazing program. It's called the Shinshuri Foundation, and what they do is they bring small businesses together so the businesses can learn how to bring the for-profit, which is a business side, together with philanthropy, so that they can go out and do this hybrid and try to market themselves much better, market their product and services. And that was really great. So we had a panel, and there was 3 pitchers, and they pitched to us, and we've got some investors on the panel as well.
Okay, cool.
It was phenomenal.
That's fantastic. And that's what we have to have. Because we have our businesses. Hey, Candace, the show today is we're going to talk about closing sales, and which is great for you since you're in the retail business.
Give us a call, Candace.
Yeah, give us a call, Candace.
So we can show you how to close the deal.
Candace, Candace's birthday was the first weekend in November when we had the women's conference.
Yeah.
So we had a full agenda of activities. So our Saturday night activities were to go to All That and More Boutique.
Right.
And so Candace had a goal to make 50 sales because that's her age. That's what she was turning.
Right.
And we came in, the Bellas came in and just shut it down. So she did more than she said.
That's what I'm talking about.
Since she has been open, that was the best day she had in sales.
That's what I'm talking about.
So
I'm glad you mentioned that, because they claim that the last week of November is Small Business Week. As far as we're concerned,
Small Business Week is every day.
Small Business Week is every day, and I just want small businesses, you small businesses out there, to know that even though you heard that Small Business Week was the last week of November, we're still helping you to promote your business and also try to access the sales that you need from your target population. So just keep on calling, and we'll be assisting you on the show.
And for every small business, it should be every single day.
Every day.
Obviously, you will draw in more after, because everybody's in the Christmas mode.
Right.
But you really want to be working on your marketing and your sales and your advertisement all year long. Right. No one will come to your door just because you win business.
Exactly.
If you're not out advertising and letting people know that you're in business and what you're doing in business, there's never going to happen. So if you guys are under the impression just because, that ain't gonna happen. So,
and also when it comes to running your business and trying to make sure that you get that sale, you're trying to get that Black Friday and all of that stuff, you need to have your businesses ready. What we do on this show, just so you know, we bring entrepreneurship, small business, and supply diversity together so you can obtain opportunities from contract providers, from lenders, and also from other customers. So that's what this show is all about. This platform here brings small businesses together. Now, we want to make sure that all of you are business ready and contract ready. Now, Crystal, on Tuesday, we've got a workshop coming up. We want to share that with the audience.
We on Tuesday we're having our mastermind second workshop, but we're doing a whole series on helping businesses become certified so they can do business to business as opposed to transactional business. So we are honored to have Miss Danetta Jackson from the state of California, from the Department of General Services, come out to talk to us on how do we do business with the California government. And so you want to come out, and it's not just for individuals that are in construction industry. My certification and procurement opportunities is for anybody that has a business and there is some synergy with another business that want to do business with you, and they have set asides to make that happen. So contact us at 323-906-7004. Email me, Crystal C. Mitchell. Actually, it is if you go on our Facebook page, you will find the link to register for the class. So it is Tuesday, December 12th from 4 to 6, and it is actually free to the public. So you want to do that, guys, because it's so much easier to do business to business. And when we actually interview our guest, he'll tell us how much easier it is to do business to business as opposed to transactional business.
And the whole reason why we brought this up today is to, one, make sure that you understand the eligibility requirements, how to become certified with the state of California. We're going to go over that as well. So we're going to show you how to become certified as well as accessing contract opportunities. Now, today is December 8th. Mm-hmm. So we still have another 23 days left in this month. So there is still chance for you to obtain a contract within the rest of the year from the state of California. So that's why we want you to come to this workshop on Tuesday, December 12th, so we can show you how to access those opportunities.
Fantastic. Now, I'm going to put my RBD hat on, my Recycling Black
That's
Dollars
right.
hat. So, every year at this time of the year, because people are out shopping, we really need to be cognizant that we need to support our own businesses, our own people that look like us. And it's interesting. My sister and I were in Huntington Park this weekend. We went to buy some tile, and so we went across the street, and there was a great big shopping center, and it was a Panda Express. It was everything you wanted to imagine that was in there. We walk in, and I look around. Now I'm in Huntington Park, so that's a primary Hispanic Latino area, and everybody in the shop was the same nationality.
Wow!
Behind the counter and sitting in the seats.
Interesting.
And then if I've gone to Chinatown, I see the exact same thing. I go to anywhere in the city and I see that. But when I go to my own town, I don't see that. I see somebody else working behind the counter.
It's absent.
So it's very important. But so last year, someone had called me to tell me that she felt the same way as Recycling Black Dollars, because it's important that we do that, and more important today than ever before. But so she had manually put together a Black business guide for the holidays. But then someone else picked it up. So I got an email this week, and though Cole Sure, sir, they have actually created the 2017 Black Business Holiday Catalog.
Really?
It is absolutely beautiful.
Wow.
And so we're going to have her Skype in. She's not from here. She's going to Skype in next week and talk about hers. But you can go to colsire.com, CULSIRE.com, and do your holiday shopping with Black businesses.
That's an attractive looking.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's actually a
that.
magazine. They do. Yeah. This is just their holiday, but they actually do a magazine about Black events and cultures and our culture experiences and articles. And
maybe if we get it before the show is over, we can pop it up on the screen so that our audience can see that as well.
All right, we'll see if I can get it over during one of the breaks. So that's one thing. The second thing, now I'm going to talk to you guys. When you're doing marketing, you and I are pretty creative. I mean, one of the reasons for the podcast was to expand our brand and awareness about who and what we do, right?
Yeah.
So I've been working with, and I actually dance over at the Crenshaw yoga and dance studio. So Carly, who owns the studio, she's been owner of it for 13 years, and it's an amazing space. She owns about 10,000 square feet. So she has 3 studios. She has 3 offices space there. So she rents out, in addition to the yoga classes and in addition to Zumba, and I take a burlesque class. I just started a salsa class there on Monday night, and just a whole series of different, and I think they have an African dance class. So her backspace is absolutely amazing. So we're having the first annual Crenshaw Christmas Ball.
Really?
So all week I have been over there. We've been decorating. So right now it looks like a winter wonderland.
And that's tomorrow?
That's tomorrow night from 7 to 11, and it's right there at Crenshaw and 54th. There's free parking. The food is going to be absolutely amazing. There's a guy named Audrey Tingling.
There going to be some Jamaican food there?
Oh yeah, he's actually Jamaican.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he makes the jerk chicken. We went over to do the tasting.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. The party is like, oh, okay, that's going to be beautiful. But the food is going to be off the chain.
I hear that.
Baby back ribs. I know you don't do pork, but that's too bad.
No.
Baby back ribs, salmon cook. He's doing a little sampling of salmon, and it's with the jerk chicken.
Yeah.
Sauce of flavor.
Yeah.
You will love it. You will absolutely.
Making me hungry.
Yeah. and they did I have never tasted black eyed peas that taste like these black eyed peas that made. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do that. And then we're going to have a dance showcase. Katrina Frosty, we're all on the same committee, and she's one of the instructors there. So she's doing a burlesque number with her ladies. And then we're going to sing Christmas Christmas carols around the piano, and we are going to have a fabulous time. So for those of you that haven't gotten your tickets, we slashed the tickets. They are now 2 for $60, so you can bring your date, your wife, your girlfriend, whomever, and we're going to dance, and we're going to have a fantastic time.
It's going to be a winter wonderland.
A winter wonderland. So last night I was wrapping walls and wrapping paper, so it's one big present, and we were hanging snowflakes from the rafters because it was an amazing space. And because what the other part of it is as a marketing tool, she wants people to see what the space is capable of in its full regalia, right?
Sounds good to me.
And so that's going to be one of the marketing tools we're going to use. Is this big, and then we're going to do for Valentine's Day.
That's good.
And we're going to do several throughout the year so people see the potential of her space.
That's very good.
That's some creative marketing.
That is very good. I'm loving it. I am loving that. That's great.
So with that, but it's really fun. So last night we had Christmas music going on. The night before I made sangrias, so we were having sangrias and Christmas music and hanging.
So you got a little Latino flavor going on there too.
Little Latino flavor going on. And then tonight we're doing the Christmas tree. And finishing up hanging the lights and all the and the rest of the...
Sounds like fun, Crystal.
So you got to come on out.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, there's a complimentary ticket for you at the door.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. So we're excited about it. Carly is amazing. She is so full of energy about her business, and she loves what she does. And so in the mornings, I think they have like 4 or 5 different yoga classes, which is amazing. Felice, they're looking for some new instructors. Yeah. So you can have yours, and there's a lot of. They have actually a major following. I was doing the hot yoga, and I don't know. I was in pain most of the time. So when I go by the guy that does this, his name is Harrison, and I come in and he goes, no, I don't think I can take that pain. I was in pain for. I think it takes a little while to get acclimated to being flexible. I'm not there yet, so I'm gonna just do the dancing right now.
I'll let you do it for me, Crystal. I just sit on the sideline and enjoy you going through it.
The salsa is fine though. I love the salsa. I love the burlesque class. I love Zumba. I don't know. It's gonna have to embrace me differently than it embraced me when I did. And maybe the hot room yoga is more painful than regular yoga. I don't know. But it was kind of interesting. So that's what I've been doing all week.
That sounds like fun. Sounds like you've been pretty busy getting this going. And she's probably going to make a lot of money on this event.
Well, hopefully. But if not, then it's really, like I said.
This is the first of its kind,
This is the first of its kind.
So the first annual, you usually get a little warm reception. But a second and third and fourth.
Right. And she's very connected to the community. She feels she has her business here. Yeah. And she wants the community to come out and really make her studio successful. I was telling her the other day, I said, when you have a studio where people are coming in to have classes, usually their market, that's the whole purpose, right? Yeah. You're the business owner, and then they're out marketing to bring some people in based upon, or hopefully they have a following.
That's true.
And that hasn't quite happened at her spot. So she works very, very hard.
Well, hopefully we can help her out.
Yeah, that's why I donated my time, and it's been fun. So it's a good time.
It sounds like fun. So
it got me in the Christmas spirit.
We'll definitely work in supporting her, and she was here on the show.
She was on the show.
And she was phenomenal. So we'll continue to support the small businesses in the area. And for those of you who are just tuning in right now, you're on the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And today we're going to be talking about some great things about closing the deal and a lot of other things. But I also want small businesses to know that we have a program, the Business Zone, Crystal and I, it's called the Masterminds Contract Readiness Program. And we've hand-selected 8 to 10 small businesses, and we've pre-qualified them, and we're working on getting them business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready so that these small businesses can go out and get opportunities through the efforts that we've put in the class. Now, the classes that we're teaching, the classes are capability statement development, cash flow management, certification, and also getting your business ready. That means learning all the requirements and compliance documents that you need to have in order to run your business and in order to be certified. So with that package in mind, if you can go through those classes, you should be ready to do some business. A big part of that also is marketing, which we haven't mentioned, but that's a part of the program as well.
Oh, that's a major part of it, because it still requires you it's not just that one contract, right? And
that's right.
You have to have some visibility.
Right.
You got to be doing business. And marketing and sales is part of doing business.
And
that's
a big part of what Crystal and I do is that we do that guerrilla marketing. We do it very well. We clobber you with information and our strategy in a nice way that you really will appreciate us and want us to keep doing that. So it's a great program, and this is a pilot program. So after this, we're going to launch it again come January, February, and we're going to select another batch of small businesses. Now, you don't just get into this program. We got to make sure that you've got what it takes. You've got that DNA, that entrepreneurial DNA. We don't want anyone quitting on us in the middle of the program. We want to make sure that you've got that stick-to-itiveness and you can complete the program.
And it's very important that we change how, in our community, how we do business. So, yeah, we're very committed to it, so we want you to be very committed to it as well. And as well, actually, we're partnered with the Los Angeles Urban League. We've got some amazing programs about to happen.
Yes.
In addition to the minority certification program, there's a class that we're doing for the beauty professional industry. And so we're helping them elevate their businesses to another level so that they can look at being business owners of beauty supply products and in addition to the services that they're providing. It makes no sense to have one side of the sale and not do both the sales.
That's right.
Your hair has to be maintained after you go into the shop. So why do we not own the supply industry, right? Or at least have a piece of it? It's a $90 billion industry.
Right.
So we're going to be working with stylists. So that class is on Monday the 11th, and it's from 2 to 4. And they're going to be talking about how to increase your revenues with products and adding products and retail products to your business. So we have that going on. We're really excited by another program that we're going to be working on at the beginning of the top of the next year, is helping our in the construction industry. So years ago, the Urban League had a signature program called the LEAP program. It was a $5 million project. And my uncle was one of the creators with John Mack, who was the
founder.
Not the founder.
No.
He just was.
He was the president.
He was the president here in Los Angeles, and it was a very successful program. And so we're going to implement it because the situations that we're living in right now is exactly the same as it was in 1968, which is kind of phenomenal all by itself. Here we are in 2017, and we got situations that are very similar to what took place in 1968. Yeah. So we're going to help them elevate. So that we're going to go out and do outreach to the occupational centers, to the schools, to bring young people in, because that's a young man's game, into the trade industry. Because you can have a business if you're a plumber, an electrician, that's just parts like being a doctor, right? So you go out and you get your skills and your education, you become that specialist, and then after that you can start your own business. So that's some of the things that we're going to be working with. Alicia from the Bella Network. Yes. Her husband has just been appointed as the president for the union workers in the entertainment industry.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
So now we have a direct entry there. So we'll have Michael on the show, and we'll talk about that.
That's amazing.
And he's going to get certified as well because he has his own construction business. So we got some great things happening.
Yes, definitely.
Hey, Kevin.
And tell them about Monday. There's a capability statement on Monday, the 11th, from 4 to 6.
Oh, right. So on Monday, so we have classes next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Yes. Back-to-back classes.
Deron, I think there was a flyer from last week that I sent to you. If you can pop that up for us, that'd be great. And so on Monday is on capability, on how to do your, and this is outlining your core competencies and what you do. It's kind of like a miniature resume for the business.
It's a resume for your business, and it's going to have your core competencies. It's going to have your value proposition. It's going to have your features and benefits and your company profile. So that's really a great tool to have. It's a one-page document that you can use to market your business.
And then on Tuesday, we have Danetta from the state of California. And then Wednesday, I'm going to be talking to you on your cash flow and your financial statements. Mm-hmm. And then on Thursday,
we're going to cover certifications. Well, we're going to do certification on Tuesday, but we're also going to do on Thursday, we're going to do building your infrastructure. Get you to understand what goes into your business. When you develop a business, what are the components of that business? Because many small businesses, they start a business, but they really don't know what goes into it. Mm-hmm. And what we're going to do is we're going to take your business and we're going to divide it into 4 categories. We're going to do the business planning, general operations management, business development and marketing, and cash flow management. And then we're going to do forensics on each one of those and show you how to break it down, how to build it back up, and make it work for you.
There you go. And so I want you to let you know that Jennifer, who's in our class, she is so excited. She went over to Kinko's and had all her documents copied. She called me this morning, and so she was calling me because she couldn't find the link for the Small Biz Pro, but she found it. So she is in the process today of uploading her documents to Smart. So she loves it.
This is great. See, this is one of the things we're doing in this mastermind program. We have our signature program, which when we go to a break here in 3 minutes, you'll see it popped up on your screen. But it's called Small Biz Pro. It's a business management and compliance system. It's a cloud-based system that helps small businesses to upload their documents so you can later retrieve those documents from anywhere in the world. If you're in Japan, Mexico, China, Jamaica, wherever you are conducting business, you can access those documents using your tablet, your smartphone, your laptop, wherever. And there's also procurement opportunities and market research available through the system.
Right, exactly. So in addition to becoming certified, you're just going to become the most incredibly phenomenal business owner on the planet.
Oh, yes.
That's what we want you to be.
So that's great. So that's what we have in store for small business this coming week. And again, the workshops will be held at the Urban League. Mm-hmm. And the address is
4401
Mount Vernon?
Crenshaw Boulevard, Suite 201, Los Angeles. Now, mind you guys, it is not the old lot building that they were in on Mount Vernon. They are at 4401 Suite 201, and that is the Bakewell building where the Chase Bank is housed on the first floor.
So that's the only Chase Bank at the corner. You can't miss it. Right there at the corner, Mount Vernon and Crenshaw. You'll see that bank. That's where we are. Second floor.
The second floor. So register. So go on the BusinessZone Facebook page, and you will see many, many, many ads and mine and yours and the Los Angeles Urban Leagues and my LinkedIn. We are not invisible on the social media. So.
And if you've ever missed any of our shows, the Business Zone, you can go to YouTube and just type in the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, and you'll see all of our episodes, all of our 79 episodes.
Actually, no, we have. Well, yeah. No, we are at 75.
75.
Today. Yeah.
All 75 episodes from when we started a year and a half ago.
Yes, right.
So you'll see anything you need about small business, it's something we've covered. If you're looking for loan, funding, financing, whatever it is, marketing, all of that stuff is there.
And we had some phenomenal guests. So you guys want to take advantage of all this incredible knowledge and expertise that they're sharing with you.
And it's free. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick break and bring in our first guest on the show right now. For those of you just tuning in, you are on the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. Take a break.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
So we're back on the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. Now, Crystal, who do we have in the studios today?
Oh, we are very honored today to have the real McCoy salesperson. I don't think I've met someone that embraces sales like this since I was in corporate America.
This is his passion.
This is
passion. What he breathed.
I have one other friend that's like him, and I actually think they speak or have been part of the same speaking bureau that's very much like that as well. But we have Mr. Gil Cargill today, and he is one of the top 6 sales and marketing management speakers in the country. He has spent the past 36 years as a consultant, speaker, and trainer helping thousands of businesses achieve dramatic and permanent improvements in sales production. Since 1978, Cargill Consulting Group has worked with over 5,000 business-to-business sales forces. They recognize that sales, in particular, sales management, is one of the most least formally controlled components of most business organizations. So he's here today to talk about, we're going to talk about sales. We're going to talk about closing deals. We're going to talk about how not to talk yourself out of the sale. And we're going to talk about how we increase our revenues from a small business standpoint.
Well, welcome to the Business Zone.
Great to be here. Really appreciate it.
Glad to have you. So, Gil, tell us, one, how you got into this field, and how do we, because I know you do mostly, is it Fortune 500s or just corporation type?
My smallest client is a one-man band.
Oh.
And my largest client is a Fortune 100. So
Okay.
I span the gamut.
Wow.
Okay.
My motto is if they have a check that won't bounce, then they're qualified.
Well, that's a good criteria.
I like that.
I got into sales way back in the 1960s.
Okay.
I took a normal high school football player's summer job in '63 in a steel mill. And my first day there, they had a tragic accident, and I saw a man incinerated.
Oh.
And the foreman came over to me and offered me a promotion to that recently vacated position.
And there was all kinds of incentives to do that, right?
For a nickel an hour. So I set an Olympic record running in high-top shoes and grabbed the paper and saw an ad that said earn $10,000 a month. Now, 1963, that was a lot of money.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, this is the job for me because I needed a new Corvette. Didn't have a driver's license, but I needed a Corvette.
You needed it, though, right?
I needed it. And I didn't know what the phrase at the bottom of the ad meant when it said commission only. But I knew there was the job for me.
Okay.
And I went in and I got hired. And I asked the boss, when do I get my 10 grand? And he said, as soon as you sell something. And I said, what does that mean? I was 16.
Okay.
And it was selling vacuum cleaners door to door.
Oh,
Wow.
And I was blessed, in my opinion, to learn by accident what I'm here to do before I could drive a car. So a lot of my peers looked for their careers, and I found mine before I got out of high school.
Wow.
Now, the secret, and I want your audience to pay attention to this, I was 16 years old, but before management would allow me to talk to a customer, I had to recite their presentation from memory.
Oh, wow.
And when I go out shopping, when my wife and I go to stores, and we ask questions of people in the store where we want to do business, and they don't know what they're talking about, it's off-putting. So my message to your audience, and I don't care who you sell to or what you sell, practice your presentation. This is especially true with your members of your business development program that are working in government contracts.
Right.
If you go into a government buyer's office, I don't care how qualified you are. I don't care how good your prices are. I don't care how good your products are. If you go in there mumbling and stumbling, if you're disorganized, if you don't know how to present your value proposition,
Right.
then you will be behind the eight ball regardless of what you do. And so many entrepreneurs tell me, hey, Gil, I had the best product. I knew I was a better price, and I didn't get the deal. Well, it wasn't price that turned them off. It was the lack of perceived value.
That's right.
And perceived value is directly proportionate to how well you present. So I see thousands of entrepreneurs every year that have never spent 5 minutes,
Right.
5 minutes practicing their presentation.
Right.
If you don't present well, you can't close. All you can do is beg and hope.
Right.
So a message to your audience is let's make sure we practice with our smartphone. I see you have yours on a tripod. That is the best sales coach you can hire. Present to the smartphone, record yourself, and then look at it. So you don't have to hire anybody. You don't have to go anywhere to know whether you have a lot of ums and ahs and incorrect grammar.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, or cool. So,
and you're absolutely right, because every month, Recycle Black Dollars, we have a breakfast mixer, right? And so everyone gets an opportunity at the end or sometime in the beginning to do a 30-second commercial.
Okay.
And I tell you, when time you're like, okay, you're hitting the bell. We even have 30 seconds. You should be able to encapsulate what you do, at least an appetizer or
Right.
a cliff note of what you do in 30 seconds. And it goes on forever and ever. And once you get past the 30 seconds, most people have disconnected from you. They don't care what you do. Just will you please hush?
let's say my term for that exercise is create an elevator pitch.
Right.
And an elevator pitch is a speech that must be able to be delivered in a 2-story elevator ride in
Right.
30 seconds. Now, the secret sauce is the first words out of your mouth have to be very strong and almost, if we were in New Orleans, I'd have to say bodacious.
Okay.
So if I'm running a contracting business and I remodel kitchens, then the first sentence is going to say, I work with homeowners to significantly increase the value of their home. Or my typical customer sees a $100,000 increase in the value of their home. I'm saying a very loud, aggressive, bodacious statement because I want the prospect's brain to go, how does he do that?
That's a carrot that you dangle in
Yeah.
front of them.
As soon as they say mentally, how do you do that? You now have permission to go into depth.
Yeah.
But you've got to get that first message in less than 30 seconds. Some studies say it's like 11 or 12.
Right.
But it's great practice, and if they aren't willing to invest the practice, then I say get out of business. Because you're not in business, you're hoping for success. And the tragedy is so many brilliant men and women fail because they've never done the blocking and tackling. As an old football coach of mine, you've got to do the fundamentals and the basics, and they miss out on that. So we exist to help people realize their dreams by selling better. And if you have a mediocre product but a superior marketing and sales campaign, you'll not only make a living, but you'll beat your competitors who have better products.
So beside the elevator pitch, what are some strategies that you use within your organization with businesses and entrepreneurs?
Well, my average client increases their sales by 36%. Our record is about a 75% increase. And that's because we've learned a technique that I developed to identify sales process bottlenecks. When you stop and think about it, selling is like manufacturing. We manufacture customers, we manufacture transactions, contracts, and cash. So we understand and examine the process that exists. We identify the bottlenecks and we remove them. And I'm extremely excited in that next week we're launching a new software product that my niece, Jessica Cargill, our Chief Technology Officer, created called Sales Copilot. And this is the first application of technology to process management. It's not a CRM. It's not a database. It actually incorporates the intelligence that I and my coaches use into a device in your pocket that is your sales manager or your sales coach in your pocket. So we're excited about getting the Copilot launched, and it's designed for the micropreneur, that's the man or woman that's working out of their bathroom, trying to make it happen,
Right.
On up through large sales forces. And it's the process orientation that's our secret sauce. Eliminate the bottlenecks, or my nickname for it is the sales prevention department.
So will this program, will it have a demo that we can go online and check it out and see what it's all about?
Absolutely. You need to contact me. It's going live next week, so you can't do it today, but next week we can. Okay. And tremendously excited about what my niece has put together.
So what are the core tool sets in that? How does it actually work?
It works based on the principles that I developed. There are 5 metrics that you need to manage to be successful, consistently successful. The first metric is the number of first meetings. If you are not meeting any new people, you're not going to be selling at some point down the road.
Right.
And too often I hear people say, I don't like to meet people. I don't like to make phone calls. I don't like getting up in front of strangers.
So then they're in the wrong business.
No, they're not. Because in today's world, you can meet all the strangers you ever want to meet using cold email. And this is cold email, not cold calling.
Right.
And what I teach is send out the email to strangers, wait for them to call you. Because everybody is comfortable talking to strangers when they call you.
Right.
That's metric number 1. Metric number 2 is dollars per transaction. All too often, salespeople and or entrepreneurs discount because they feel that discounting creates friends. Now, a second significant blessing in my sales life was going to work for IBM in 1970. Our rules were if you discounted 1 dime, you got fired. Straight up.
Wow.
So we had to sell for the published price, and that prevented me from ever learning how to discount, so I still don't discount.
So let me put this out there, because I receive tons of emails every day, some of them from these Nigerians trying to rip me off and trying to sell me all this stuff. So when I see an email that I don't recognize, I just quickly delete. So with that person who doesn't like to call, but they want to send out those emails, they're not going to get someone like me. So how does that work?
That's probably very true. Never make a marketing decision based on your individual prejudices. I hate getting unsolicited email, but I send out 180,000 emails every week,
right?
Because I like cash.
So how does that work, though? Because part of the reason...
all I want is 0.1%, and I'm making money.
See, part of the reason I don't access those emails, because they have some of those emails, when you click on it, it just takes over your computer.
That's spam.
Right.
And
but it's embedded in the link that you get in the email.
And that's one of the reasons why I have an outstanding email campaign if I get a 2.5% response. So I'm not looking for home runs.
Right.
And it costs very little money to get the emails out the door.
Right.
And I wait for people to call me. Now, I love cold calling. I love speaking. But I'm busy serving my existing clients, and I couldn't say, Crystal, if you were one of my clients and you were paying me a retainer, I couldn't come over to your office and say, oh, well, hold that thought. I need to make cold calls.
Right.
So I have to prospect at the same time I'm selling and serving.
I believe you, and the reason I believe you, because I get the same email like 5 times a day, every day of a week. So I guess they're trying to wear me down. They figure eventually I'll just give in and say, let me check it out.
Nothing works all the time for everybody.
Right.
It's all about the numbers. It's all about tenacity and consistency.
Yes.
My dad was one of the Tuskegee Airmen, and he taught me how to be tenacious. He also taught me how to fly, and flying airplanes is my passion. But he had a saying that knocked me off of my chair when I was probably in junior high school. I was about to quit something that I didn't like doing.
Yeah.
And he said, have you ever heard the story about the man that first man to attempt to swim the English Channel? And I said, no, I haven't. And he said, nobody has. He got halfway to France, figured out he couldn't make it, and swam back. So the entrepreneurs that quit halfway to France ruin their life. You know, it's the same amount of effort to go back to where you came from as to keep going.
Now, I use, so I get a lot of emails, and I have actually 2 email accounts. So one that's all spam, it goes to another account, which I don't access very often. So my main business one I do. But what I do is I think that Facebook has come up with an incredible way with their marketing tool that one, and this is invasive in a sense, but when I'm looking for webinars, or if I'm looking to say I'm about to do webinars, whatever it is I'm looking for, it pops up in my Facebook, right? And usually it's a free webinar that I will have to subscribe into. And now the emails that are coming to me are those emails that are specific to the things that I'm interested in. So I've bought into that. So I get some incredible, I did a blog just recently, a post on the 22 amazing tools that I use to manage 4 businesses.
Perfect.
And it came because of me connecting with those emails or those ads on Facebook, because they have been really, really vital.
You became a permission subscriber.
Right.
I cold email to get subscribers.
Right.
Once they have allowed me to send them more email, then I will educate them. And the secret is stay top of mind. Never let them forget about you.
Right.
If you're running a dry cleaner and the customer comes in and gets a suit cleaned, thank them, take their money, and get their name. Because if you don't stay in touch, you're allowing them to forget about you.
And go to the competition.
Go next door, exactly.
Right.
On the other hand, if you educate and offer value, then they'll go, next time I need my suit cleaned, I think I'll go back to your place.
Yeah.
Or at least I'll give you a try.
Right.
And most entrepreneurs fail because they don't market well. Sales is the back end of marketing.
Yeah.
And Crystal, you said something very important. Remember, all marketing starts with an interruption. I must interrupt you to get your brain aligned with me.
Right.
Once I've interrupted, I have to engage you. And if I don't have an engagement, then the interruption's wasted. The third step is I must educate you. Here's the value you'll receive when you buy from me, when you come to my restaurant, when you get your copier from my company. And the fourth step to that is I must give you a seductive offer that you can't resist. Not a discount, but a free workbook, a free seminar, some education. Now you and I have a relationship, and I can pepper you with educational material.
Yeah.
I never send out anything with a price. That's against the law, one, and it's tacky, two. And I never pitch a product. I always educate the customer so that when the customer is at the right place, they'll say, I need to talk to Gil. And that's all I really want my marketing to do.
That's fantastic.
So your win rate with this currently is what, like 2%?
I measure two metrics. One is called MQL and the other one is SQL. MQL are marketing qualified leads. These are the men and women who respond and say, I'm interested.
Yeah.
But they're not interested right now.
Okay, so they could be the 7%ers. In marketing, you've got 5 categories, right?
They're the ones you're going to have to nurture.
Exactly.
Okay, the SQL are give or take 3% of all the respondents.
Right.
So if I get 100 respondents, I'm going to have 3 sales qualified leads.
Right.
I have to talk to all of them.
Yeah.
And I have to talk to all of them professionally.
Yeah.
But the 97 that aren't sales qualified are the ones I'm going to nurture.
Yeah.
And then roughly 60% of those will convert into transactions within 6 to 18 months.
Okay.
And please notice that time frame.
Yeah,
6 to 18
that's
months.
a long process.
So many people say, man, France is so far away.
Yeah.
I'm swimming home.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a process. You got to be committed.
It's totally a
and I
process.
think that's what happens a lot. That people get impatient because it's not happening right now, right? But you have to kind of what they call prime the pump.
You got to prime the pump. And in your program, I'm happy to hear that you're helping people develop marketing plans and sales plans. Because the plan has to say, I'm not going to get rich next week.
Right.
Right.
Anybody that thinks they're going to get rich next week is engaged in some consumption of illegal consumption.
and actually, and Gilbert and I talked about this last week. If you did have that hit product, right? Are you able to handle the masses of sales? If that were to happen like that, right?
A lot of people fail because they were successful.
Right, exactly. Because you had Oprah said you were one of her favorite items, and then the next day you got phone calls coming out, and you can't fill the orders. So now you fail, right? Because eventually, what's going to happen? You're going to get frustrated. The people are going to get upset, and it's so funny because I had a young lady that was in a class of mine developing her business plan. So she had a product, and we kept saying, well, where's the prototype? And she goes, well, I need the money from the sales, because she wanted a website built. She didn't have a prototype, right? So she wanted to sell it, an image of it, and she had some sort of made-up prototype, but not a real one. Whoa. And she wanted to sell it on the internet to get the money to be able to pay for the prototype.
See, what she really wanted was an investor to fund the creation of a beta product.
Exactly.
Right, but she was going to sell it one at a time. I said, so when they go to click in for your product, when you going to send them like the next day?
That's when they said, it takes 6 weeks to get to you. And then she tried to get that money to purchase it within that time.
So it's the concepts, right? It's the understanding what that really means. You got to have a real product, a tangible product that you can sell.
And you have to be able to deliver on the time frame you promise.
Right.
16 weeks is okay if you say that up front.
Yeah. Right.
But if they believe it's going to be next week and you say, we've had a little problem, and as soon as the bank funds it, we can ship. It's too late.
So this your new IT product is going to help that small micro business to follow that.
It's the sales manager they can't afford to buy.
Oh, okay.
So it's very inexpensive, runs on all smartphones, tablets, or whatever, and it's got 40 years of my experience as a fractional VP of sales, helping 7,000 businesses optimize their top line. And it's all in an online device that says, okay, it's Monday morning. Here's what we need to do this week.
Oh, I like that.
Is it going to be a one-time purchase, or is it going to be a subscription
monthly
service?
recurring revenue subscription?
Okay. So
I need a jet.
I hear that. Yeah, I want one too. So do you have a price point
$97 per month per company, per sales rep.
Okay.
Okay. That's not bad.
So each sales rep will use that tool with his clients.
Right.
Okay, I see. So the tool is not for the public like us, it's for the sales rep.
It's for the sales rep.
Oh, I see.
They're happy to take your money.
Yeah, because I was getting excited going, wow, maybe I should get that tool. I need to get Small Biz Pro out there.
Well, you're trying to sell ads.
Yeah.
So if you would hire my sales co-pilot, you would essentially have my intelligence in your pocket coaching you to sell advertising.
Yeah.
So,
well, we're two-dimensional. We're trying to sell ads on here, but I also have this program, Small Biz Pro, which is a business management
trying to sell enrollments in Small Biz Pro.
There you go.
Okay,
there you go.
The system can handle an infinite number of product lines.
Okay.
Our terminology is advertising is one product line.
Okay.
And Small Biz Pro is the second one.
Okay.
You can have a third one selling chairs or copiers or whatever you'd like.
Right. That sounds good.
It's exciting.
So good. And that actually could be something if we were doing that when because we got to bring on someone to actually sell
exactly. And they could use that tool.
And use that tool. Yeah. And then so it gives them a guideline, right?
Well, not only gives them a guideline, here's a little bit of, I don't know if you are familiar with boxing history.
A little bit.
Remember Joe Louis?
Yes.
Well, when he was fighting the German for the heavyweight championship, this was just before World War II. There was a lot of racism and hatred and horrible stuff. And the promoters decided to give the German an advantage by building the biggest boxing ring ever.
So he can run.
So he can run, exactly. And the news writers, reporters, took Joe Louis to the arena to look at the ring. And they said, hey, Joe, that's a big ring out there, and this guy Schmeling can really run. How are you going to deal with that? And Lewis looked at him and said, yep, there's a lot of room out there, but I don't see anywhere for him to hide. So we've got built into the software for the owners of the company reports that eliminate the ability of a salesperson to not tell the truth regarding what they're doing.
I like that.
So every Monday morning, you would get a report in your email that says, here's what Charlie was supposed to do last week, and here's what Charlie
actually
did.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So accountability.
No place to hide. Total accountability.
That's really, really good. And that's something.
That.
And that's because and I think small businesses, that would be great for them.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what happens.
They can't hire a sales manager.
Yeah.
Right.
A good sales manager is going to cost $200,000 a year.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's some businesses that don't produce that revenue.
Right.
And the problem is if you don't have good sales management, you'll never go above $200,000. So we have how to hire people, how to write comp plans, how to terminate people. Everything that I would do if you hired me full time is in your smartphone now.
Oh, really?
That's fantastic.
That's great. That sounds good.
Because when you're wearing all the hats, when you're the founder,
the chief cook and head bottle washer.
Right.
And there are no universities that offer a 4-year diploma in sales management.
No.
Marketing management, yes. But not how to recruit, hire, train, coach, deploy salespeople.
Right.
So the most vital function of a business is taking those sales qualified leads and turning them into contracts. And there's no training in any United States university for a manager to do that. So it's always learn on the job. But now you're betting your house, your future, and everything else. And that's scary, and it doesn't need to be.
So part of your system, does it also teach that salesperson how to do those emails that you were talking about earlier?
Absolutely. I call it sales on my online sales academy.
Yeah.
Push a button, and then a table of contents appears. Cold email, click it, watch it, and apply it.
Oh, beautiful.
That's fantastic.
That's beautiful.
It's everything I've done in 40 years in the smartphone.
So tell me about sorry to interrupt you, but I'm getting drawn into this. Tell me about you said your daughter or your niece?
Jessica Cargill.
So what's her background and what makes her want to pursue that?
Her grandfather, my father, was a genius mathematician in addition to an aviator. Oh. And our family believes she's got dad's genes because calculus did a number on me. But Jessica went to school, got a degree in computer management and programming and whatever, and has been challenged in the Ohio economy to get a job. So Felice and I were back visiting, and just a casual conversation, I said, hey, can you write some software? And she said, sure. And I said, can you make it do this, that, and the other thing? And she said, sure. And my wife and my sister-in-law were whispering in her ear, make them pay you, make them pay.
So did you pay her?
I've been paying her every Friday. And,
Well, it looks like you guys could become super rich.
I'm going to, absolutely. She keeps the software working. I'm going to sell the heck out of it, and we're going to get the jet the Cargills need.
Now, how is your program different than Salesforce?
Salesforce tells you what you did. I tell you what you need to do to hit your pre-established goals.
That's a
And I
difference.
tell you how to do it. So one is lagging indicators.
Yeah.
Here's what happened.
Yeah.
And I don't care about what happened. I can't
happened?
fix it.
Yeah.
I care about what's going to happen.
There's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Now, you have video for every module. Is that
Yes.
what is it?
There's over 75 hours of video in your smartphone.
See, that's a differentiator right there.
Big time.
That's a differentiator.
Yeah.
Because many of these programs, they don't have videos to guide you.
Yeah,
Right.
you have to go somewhere else, and then you
They
have to figure.
just, you type in what you did. I tell you, okay, based on what you did,
Yeah.
and Jessica worked up the algorithms for
Yeah.
this. Based on what you did, here's what you need to do to hit your goal at the end of the year. Very much like my father taught me to fly.
Yeah.
I don't worry about the mountains that are in back of me.
Right.
I worry about the mountains that are in front of me. I worry, do I have enough fuel to get where I want to go?
Yeah.
That's called sales qualified leads.
That's right.
I want to worry if I have a headwind or crosswinds. Those are unknown competitors or situations. So the germ of the idea, I have to give to my father the credit for that. But the coding all came from Jessica. I've been giving her I'm not a programmer. I just said I wanted to do this. And tomorrow morning it does.
Does that? That's amazing, and
Yeah.
have it in house,
Exactly.
and related to you.
Exactly.
That's fantastic.
We got so excited about this, we forgot to take a break. So.
Right, and then Gil has to leave. He has a phone call.
Yeah.
But Gil, we would love to. We'll talk offline. But we're galvanizing these people for small business
Super.
with our management.
Yes.
This would be great if we had you
Yes.
come in and do that, and we'll bring
yes.
and then one can sell your product.
Yeah.
I'm happy to.
And then at two, helping them, because that's a vital void in our small micro businesses.
So we could design a workshop around that.
Around that,
your
right.
product.
All we need is the date, and I'll be there.
Okay, well, we'll
that
work on
sounds
the
great.
date. We'll work on the date the first of the year.
I am very excited. I can't wait to see it in action.
Yeah.
Dynamite.
Yes.
Yeah, and when we hire our salesperson, we may
Yes.
be one to definitely be a client.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
The downside is that you would go through the repetition of the pain you've had, and I forgot to mention, I guarantee that you'll be satisfied with the results.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's what you call USP right there. Unique selling proposition.
Yes.
Because
And
what
with a
you're
guaranteed,
guaranteeing.
right? Exactly. So I hope our audience has gotten. I tell you, he's a real McCoy,
I'm
right?
telling you, I'm hooked right now. I'm hooked. I want to hear more.
Gilbert is like all wide and bushy. Usually,
Yeah.
it's like maybe this is late in the afternoon, but he's
I'm falling
excited,
asleep,
right?
but
Exactly.
this time, this is great.
Yeah,
It's good
so that's
information.
fantastic.
My
so,
pleasure.
So you want to tell the audience how they can reach you?
Absolutely. You can contact me at Gil, at gilcargill.com. That's GILCARGILL.com. Or call me at 310-447-4102. Have a great day, and go sell somebody something.
All right. And then I think we should have Gil on when we do our next show.
Yes, we should.
At the West Hollywood station.
Yeah, we
Love
should.
to. Just
Would
to
you?
be the date.
Yeah.
Would you like to be a part of that?
You bet.
Well,
Yeah.
consider yourself on. We'll let you know the date.
Yeah.
And we'll make it happen.
And that'll
be
probably be right when you're ready to launch in. So that way, that's a bigger market. It's a large marketplace.
Every time we can talk, we can have an opportunity to improve.
Yes. Okay. Well,
Sounds
thank you
great.
so much, Gil, for coming on the show. And we will definitely be working toward a relationship and,
sure.
and doing some good stuff together.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you very
good one.
much,
So you've been watching the Business Zone with
Crystal.
and Gilbert and Mr. Gil. And this has been a great show on marketing and sales techniques. So we're going to go ahead and take a break right now and bring in our next guest as well on the show. So let's take a break.
All right.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186. Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement.
Well, we're back on the Business Zone. This is
Krista
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And today's, Crystal, we've got a second guest on the show.
We have a second guest, and she has just debuted launched her new book called Woven into the Fabric. And as soon as it loads up, I will be able to read you her bio.
Okay. What I could do then is just go ahead and have our listeners go ahead and give us a call if you want to participate in our conversation here. Our phone number is 323-293-3375. That's 323-293-3375. And again, if you're just tuning in in the Business Zone, the Business Zone is a small business program. It's a platform that assists small businesses and entrepreneurs in accessing opportunities where you get to meet with supplier diversity and lenders, contract providers in order to provide you opportunities and success. That's what the Business Zone does. Day by day, time by time, month by month, throughout the whole year. And Crystal and I, we've been working on this for years now, trying to help small businesses. And we've got some great tools and tips for you.
Okay. So we are very honored to have Teshai Essiebea. Essiebea Farrell. Now, her book is a journey of her life. And it's her life story, and it actually provided her the inspiration to write this book. She just debuted last week, December 2nd, right? And so she had her book, her first book, reading. Is that what it was?
It's a launch party.
Launch party. And
good.
so she, Teshai studied at Stanford University. She won the Miss Watts beauty pageant and was sent as a Goodwill ambassador to 5 African countries. In Ethiopia, Farrell met Emperor Haile Selassie, an encounter that led to her engagement to the emperor's grandson, the Duke of Hara, and her wedding plans were shattered by the 1974 military coup in Ethiopia.
Oh, wow.
And the royal family, including her fiancé, was imprisoned and executed. And this is the premise of this story, right? And she has written another book called The Tour, The Transformation of Race. In 2007, she returned to Ethiopia for the first time since the coup with the Stanford Alum Travel Exhibition. And during that time, prior to her marriage to the Los Angeles City Council, Barb Farrell, they had one daughter. And Farrell and her daughter hold dual citizenships in the United States and Israel.
Wow.
So we want to welcome you,
Thank you
to talk about your journey. Now, you're a member of RBD, right?
Yes.
Yes, she's a member of Recycling Black Dollars. So we're definitely proud to have you here on there because of that. And we're always here to help support our small businesses in every aspect. And your journey, it's taken a while to write this book, right?
It took 21 years to actually write it, from actually putting, pen to pad. And when I started, it was pen to pad.
Really?
I didn't have a computer yet.
Okay. So tell us this journey. And I mean, I just think when I first heard you talk about it at RBD, that she was engaged to the emperor's son, was like, whoa, this is fantasy. This is fairy tale stuff. One, that you won the beauty pageant, and then 2, and this is you on the front of the cover. Yes. I think, Duran, I sent you a picture. So this is the front of the picture. You were absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely
Thank you so
beautiful.
much.
So tell us about this journey.
Well, I'll say this first about it because I've been getting a lot of feedback from readers these last weeks, and they say it looks like a book, it feels like a book, but it's really a portal to an enchanted world.
Oh, okay.
And that's really, it's a very enchanting story, and it's not. It's inspired by my real life events, but it's not autobiographical. It really is a novel. And it has 2 storylines, 2 parallel storylines in 2 different time zones. So one is the biblical story of the young Queen of Sheba. Before she met King Solomon. Okay. So it's like what connected her, what drove her up, what compelled her to go to Israel to meet this wise king. And the result of that relationship was they had a son together who became the first king of Ethiopia, which had beforehand been ruled for generations by queens. So the son of Solomon and Makeda, the queen of Sheba, became the first king of Ethiopia. And so that's one storyline. We follow their relationship and the birth of their son, and he grows up. So it's really a saga. And then the other one is the storyline based on a character called Brehenna, who's later called Brenna, that, wins a beauty pageant and goes to, so that's kind of inspired by my story and that love affair there. So you really have the symmetry of a love affair at the beginning of the reign of kings in Ethiopia, and then Haile Selassie was the 236th king from that reign and perhaps the end of the reign of kings. So there's a romance at both ends of the spectrum of the reign of kings in Ethiopia.
Wow.
Wow,
Unbelievable.
that is absolutely amazing. So, wow, it must have been devastating.
It was quite devastating. I just wanted to share inside of the book. I did, because it is a novel, I included photographs of when I met the emperor and, just to kind of anchor people back into the fact that it's kind of tethered to reality.
So that was back in the 70s?
In the 70s.
Okay.
In the 70s.
Because I
Wow.
think Haile Selassie died in the 70s,
75.
75.
Wow, that's amazing. And so you've since been back to...
I did. I went back in 2007 for the first time, and it was amazing. Like, the subtitle of my book is titled Woven into the Fabric. Into the very fabric of our lives, God has woven spun gold. That there is something very precious that each of us can follow those golden strands through our life. Those things that have like eternal meaning, those people, those situations that, come into our core and last for all time. And so in this story, and in my life, really, there have been these golden strands that I've been following. I tell in the beginning of the story about, just walking on campus at Stanford, and I'm walking by Memorial Church in the middle of the day, and the light, there's a mural over the church, and it's a biblical mural, and the sky is like gold leaf, and so the sun just hit the gold leaf and glint in my eye, and then all of a sudden I heard a voice say, "You're going to Africa." And I knew in my spirit, I'm going to Africa. No idea how.
Okay.
No idea how. And a couple of years later, I get this mysterious letter. I go to the post office on campus, and they said, "We think this letter is from you, but my name is spelled all wrong." And I said, "Well, is it from Los Angeles?" And they said, "Yeah." I said, "It's probably from me. I'll bring it back." And it was, it opened, "My name is Mrs. Johnson. You don't know me. But, I've been watching you get your scholarships, and you're from Watts, so I just think you'd make a good Miss Watts. So I'm sending an application, perhaps, you should run this year." And so I just prayed about it. And Spirit immediately, which, at the time when I prayed, you don't always get an answer.
Right.
Sometimes it's just quiet.
Right.
Sometimes I get something. This time it was yes.
Yeah.
Run, yes. Now, when I was in college, I had braces on, and I was thinking, okay, God, you don't understand about braces and beauty pageants.
They don't go together.
They normally do not go together, so what are we saying? But I knew not to argue, and
Right.
so I just filled in the application, sent it in. Now, I have 3 older sisters. One of them had been a previous Miss Watts. So in the back of my mind, I thought one day I would run, and I had an idea. It's more like community service, like when I ran for student council and stuff like that. So I had not connected it to, anything. And so I ran, and then 2 weeks before the pageant, they announced the prizes, and they said, and the grand prize for Miss Watts is an all-expense trip to 5 African countries as guest of the heads of state. So I met Haile Selassie, Jomo Kenyatta, Nyerere,
Wow.
Ashampong, and, all of the heads of state of those countries. And when they announced it, that voice that I had heard 2 years before came back and said, "That's your trip." So when I won, and that was my trip. And it was like, oh, so this is my trip. And then I looked at the itinerary, and it was filled with balls and parliament and all kinds of
Royal stuff.
And by then, I was a senior. By the trip, I was a senior at Stanford.
Interesting.
And I didn't have the clothes for that. And so I was telling Bonnie, who was showing me the itinerary, she said, "Look in the program. You didn't look at all your prizes. Disneyland's costume department is making your wardrobe for the trip."
Wow. Wow.
I said, whoa.
So this was
That's big
predestined.
time.
So it was those golden threads we
Right.
talked about, just kind of proceeding and following your guidance.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the theme of the book, is just when you get clear guidance, follow it.
Yes.
Because it opens worlds that you cannot imagine. There could be the life that I just planned for myself.
Yeah.
But I realized at 21, I have a limited vision. Even though it's a good vision, it's limited. But Spirit's vision for our lives, I mean, I would have never imagined that the man that I first became engaged to would be on the other side of the world.
Why? Now, let me ask this question. Being that was the royal family, are you Ethiopian, or is there DNA that's your ancestors are from Ethiopia?
When I met the emperor, one of the questions, there were 2 companions traveling with me, so we went to the Jubilee Palace to have audience. And we were learning how to curtsy to meet him and the formality of a royal audience. And when they came to get us, to escort us in, he said, His Majesty wants to see Miss Hayes by herself first. And so, I looked at Dr. Talbert, who was our on-the-ground host, and he said, go ahead. So I went in, and so we ended up having over an hour conversation. He sat on his throne. He had them bring me a chair, and we had this long conversation.
Wow.
And so we were just talking, and it just felt like, for some reason, that I knew him.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. And he was funny and very sweet. And then he asked this very interesting question, which he also asked the character in the book. He said, so where are your people from? And I said, well, with slavery and everything, as African Americans, we don't really know for sure. And he said, I know where you're from. He said, Miss Hayes, you are a princess from the royal lineage of the house of Judah, from my house, and I know my own anywhere.
Wow.
And I said, whoa. And he said, and we just have to make the adjustment.
Wow.
And it literally blew my mind. And so that began, I think part of the adjustment that he made was, as we were leaving, he called me back and he said, Miss Hayes, I have somebody for you to meet.
Wow.
You'll get a new itinerary in the morning. And it turned out it was one of his grandsons.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that's phenomenal.
It was phenomenal, and it was, the whole journey was kind of unpredicted and very magical and just rich with depth.
Yeah, that would be, and also for a young person, because you were 21, right?
Yeah, 21.
That's kind of like, okay, this is not the path that I thought I was going to. Because what were you studying for at Stanford?
I was English and pre-med.
Oh, okay.
That seemed like a full
And here you were
schedule.
getting ready to become a princess.
Yes, and people say, well, wasn't that a big difficult transition to make? Because after I came back and I finished my BA, but then I also had a master's program I was already in. So I finished my master's before I went back after we were engaged. And they said, well, wasn't that hard? And I think about the young girl now becoming a princess. And I from my experience was, I was 21. I'd been 21 1 month before I made that trip.
Wow.
So I had never been anything.
Yeah.
I had never had any job.
Right.
I had never been married to anybody. So I was going to have to learn it anyway. So to me, it didn't seem that much difference in learning to be a princess as learning to be.
And how was that received by your mom?
Well, everybody was shocked, shocked on this side. But, I think things really kind of became real for my family, because later that year, the second year that we were engaged, the Empress sent an emissary, Dr. Talbert, to my mother's home to meet my family, because now we were firming up the wedding plans in 1974.
Wow.
And so they met my family, wanted to know if anybody wanted to live in Ethiopia, how many people were coming to the wedding, the details of the plan. And so once that happened, my family, like said, okay, this is real.
This is real. So were you in Ethiopia when the coup was going on, or you were home?
I was. So the emissary came, and a few months later, I packed. I was ready to go. My ticket was available at the airport. And I got a call from my fiance, and he said, we're having some problems here. So, I know your ticket's there, but don't come until, you hear from me. And I said, okay. He said, no, I know you have to swear it that you will not come until you hear from me, because I'll look up and you're saying send the car to the airport in Aldis. And I said, no, you sound serious, so I won't come until I hear from you. And then 6 days after the call, my mother called, there's been a coup in Ethiopia, and they've arrested the whole royal family. Wow. Everybody was just gone. It was very devastating. I'm more for them than me, but
no, your life, that was your
my
fiance.
life, and it was like,
So what happened to him?
He was imprisoned.
Wow.
He was imprisoned, and just got a spiritual message in those years that you will see him again alive in this lifetime.
Did you?
So many years later, but I did. It was so. I don't want to give away too much of the book.
You're drawing me in now. Okay. And what happened next?
Yes.
Okay. Wow, that is phenomenal. And then you came back home, and obviously, you had to. I'm sure there was major grieving, and
So I wasn't there, so I didn't come back home because I didn't go.
Right.
So so I end up actually getting married 5 years after that.
Okay.
And as life would have it, once my husband was a LA City councilman, and
I just saw him on Saturday.
Yeah?
He was at the gentrification. Every human has a right to live.
Yes.
Yeah, he's part of that. Yeah, so I just saw him. Yeah.
So what happened was Ethiopia, we had a reception at City Hall Towers, and this little group of Ethiopians approached me, and they said, we're about to get deported. We've been in the country 4 or 5 years, and they just escaped right before the coup. And so they escaped on tourist visas, and they were all expiring. And they said, if we go back home, we'll be killed or imprisoned. Could you get your husband to help? And so I said, let me go talk to him. I talked to him. He said, well, these are your people. Of course, I'll help. So that began the relationship of Ethiopians in Los Angeles, that it became a base for Ethiopians to come to, because he just supported them. And it was at a time when Trans-Africa, the lobby, Randall Robinson, Maxine Waters, Bob Farrell, there was a team of them that were part of the founding group. And that was the first big project that they did, was they got unofficial asylum for all the Ethiopians in America. And so that is also how I reconnected with the one brother of my fiance who was not imprisoned.
Oh.
And he kept hearing about, he eventually called City Hall because he kept hearing about this councilman Farrell in Los Angeles doing all this, and there wasn't a lot of Ethiopians here. And then he said one day they said his wife's name, and he said, wait a minute, my brother was engaged to a woman. So he ended up calling City Hall, and then, my husband had him call me, and, he found, he said, I found you. I've been looking for you.
Oh, wow.
So all these
wow.
connections, And that's how, when the prince eventually got out of prison and came here, that's how he found me, was because his brother had found me in advance.
Wow.
So.
Wow. And then, but the emperor, was he killed?
He was killed the year after the coup. The next year he died.
Wow. Wow. What a amazing life.
Yeah. This is surreal. This is like something you see on TV.
Yeah, that's not an ordinary life. Wow. So now it took you
21 years to write. And I think after the second year, I was a teacher, and so really I would really only write significantly in the summer. And
Okay.
then I would write every day. So one day I was at the beach writing. Initially, the story was just a biographical, true story. But one day I was at the beach, and after I finished writing, I was just looking at the water, and I heard a voice, and the voice said, I am with the Creator from the beginning. I am given patterns and sets of living strings. I am destiny, the weaver. And I said, wow. And I had to write it down because it was so beautiful. I didn't quite know what it meant. But after that, a few days later when I was writing, all of a sudden the character who was a first-person narrative, suddenly I was calling my character she. I said, why am I referring to my character as she, like a third-person narrative of my own story? And then I realized someone else is narrating my story.
Oh.
And I had a writing teacher the first 2 years of writing, Dina Metzger. She's like a famous poet and novelist. And Dina said, like, if you're lucky, your story will kind of take over and you just have to trust the process. Strange things might occur. So I assumed this is one of those strange things with another voice took over my story. And then that's when the story went back in time and picked up the story of the Queen of Sheba, King Solomon. So we have in here like the story about how the Ark of the Covenant got from Jerusalem to Aksum, Ethiopia, where currently it's in a church in Aksum, Ethiopia, and it's kept by a priest that once the priest who is the keeper of the ark dies, there's a council of priests that meet, and one of them will never leave the grounds of that church for the rest of his life once they make the decision which of them will be the keeper.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to enjoy reading your
you're
book.
Gonna have,
I know. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, then we'll come right back to you because this is very interesting. Like I say, I'm being drawn in. So we'll take a break here on the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. Take a break.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
in the Business Zone with
Krista
and Gilbert Buchanan and our very, very special guest here. You said Teshai? Sahai.
It's like the T's not there.
Yeah.
Sahai. Okay, we got a very special
Essiebea.
princess in the studio.
Yes.
Her name is Teshai. And Crystal, you got some
This
questions?
is just absolutely amazing. So, so you got to see, they obviously took you on a tour of, and where did they live? Where in Ethiopia?
Where?
Was it in the capital or?
Yeah, in the capital.
Okay.
Yeah, they lived in the capital, and they lived unexpectedly in palaces. So I didn't expect palaces in Africa. They're just like, whoa.
Oh, yeah, they do.
That's
have
because
it.
They really do.
Because they hit our history, right?
Yeah, they hit
Oh,
our
yeah.
history.
Yeah, see, that's
They
it.
hit it well.
That's
And
exactly
they hit
it.
mainly the good parts.
They make us-
Parts.
They make us think it's all jungle and
They make
you know.
us think it's all jungle.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you about a spiritual experience I had when I met him, because I mentioned to you that when he said, you're from the royal lineage of the house of Judah, like I'm looking at him and it seemed like there was a breach in reality, like reality cracked open, and it felt like my spirit suddenly was being pushed down a time tunnel so fast that, like a fast train, you can know things are happening, but
Yeah.
it's too fast to
Right,
see.
right.
And I got to the end, and then I snatched back, and then we're both in the chair, and I'm looking at him like, what was that? But when I came back from that little spiritual thing, I realized I knew something. First of all, one of the things for our people that I knew was that we were not disconnected from our history in the historical records of reality. We're intact.
Wow.
So history knows us who we are.
Yeah.
We were never lost.
Right.
There's
Right.
nothing about us that was ever lost. Whatever damage seemed to be, it's not eternal damage. And so, like, I just came back feeling so intact and knowing that we were already intact.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I was aware of is that, you know how we think of people of old, biblical people with all these gifts and wonderful powers and magic? They said every generation, living generation, has access to those great powers.
Really?
But because we think it was just designated for a long time ago, we don't even try to access them.
So how could we access that if we want to?
Well, I think just from this journey, by listening for that guidance, that inner guidance that may not make sense sometimes, but follow it anyway.
Yeah.
And when I say follow it, I mean just if you take a few steps in the direction, when it's genuine guidance, suddenly help starts coming in that area. Now, if it's just you walk in that direction, then you got to walk some more, and it's just you walking.
Yeah.
But if it's and you were guided, and that's kind of one of the tests of are you following your deep guidance, is that try to proceed and see if help just starts coming.
There's a book that was very popular in the early 90s, and it called The Celestine Prophecy.
Yes.
And it talks about that. So what it is that your destiny is coming to you.
Yeah.
And so you synergize. Once you key into who you are and whose you are, then your synergy brings the people that you need into your life when you're ready. So if you say, I want to do, just like I said, I want to do a radio show, right? So I just put it out there in the universe, and then the universe brought Felicia, and then it brought you, and then here we
Just
are,
happened.
right? And it just happened.
Yeah.
And I know that to be true just because when, the story is that when Barbara Lindsay asked me what date did I want to show, and she was pushing me for a date, and I'm sure that was part of that divine plan, right? So she pushed me for a date, and I said July 8th. And so then, but, that was like, okay, I guess that's just the date. You asked me for a date. This is the date I'm leaving the Mother Love show, and I'm going to give you today's date. And so 1 year later, it all kind of came together, and they came to me. Felicia actually tracked me down, and she kept calling me, and I was like, Felicia, I am too busy. She's like, no, can you come? So one day she just called, come now. Can you come right now? And so I came to the studio, and it's like, oh my God, because she had been to an RBD meeting. She's talking, but you know what happens at the RBD meeting. I'm all over the place, right? So I'm hearing out of one ear. But that's what happens. So that's what the Celestine's prophecy is about. It kind of brings what you need when you're ready for it.
Bring it together.
Yeah.
Right. But a year before I was on the Mother Love Show, I wasn't talking about a radio show. I was talking about workshop. In fact, I have I use a tool called Everbook, and I had in there my next step in my business were to do webinars. Now I had all the topics, and then later, and then when I look back at the time, I just looked at the topics today, and we didn't cover half the topics that was in the webinar that I already had listed out. And then I looked at the other side, and then I add later on after we had, that was put on the table. I was like, let me add the radio show. And so now, and I haven't looked back at that since we started. So I'm looking at it like, wow, okay, these are the topics. In fact, one of the topics is I'm going to utilize for the workshop next week. That's amazing. It just brings you to you as you need to. But I do know this, that when I was a little girl, I wanted to, because the times we live in now are very similar to the times we were in the 60s when I was growing up. The racism, the fight for our civil rights, and the same thing, same place where we are right here today. And I wanted to know why. Why are we hated so much, Mom? So I just start reading books on slavery and everything that there was about Africa and tying that in. So it gave me a knowledge that, wait a minute, we're more than this.
Yes.
And I think that's where it comes from, is connecting with where you really came from. And most of us, they've prevented that, right? So unless you're reading and looking or traveling, those people, everyone that I've spoken to that have gone to the continent of Africa have come back a whole total different person.
Yes. Yeah. And it's what they said about it is really not true. And I remember when I was selected as Miss Watts, basically the community said, now, they've all told us that Africa has nothing to do with us, so you said, well, we're going to send you, and you come back and tell us. So when I came back that following year, there was a big, pageant, and I got a chance to share my experience with the people. But I can say in genuine that this is truly what they sent me to bring back. This book. And it took 45 years for my answer to their question of who are we to Africa? And
now, did your daughter, because again, this is, passing on your legacy.
Yes.
Right, down to who she is.
Yes.
Right, that this happened to her mom.
Yes.
So how does she interact, or how has she reacted to it when she learned the story of your past?
Well, she's always known it because, it happened before she was born. So she was born into the story. Now, a funny thing about my daughter, when the prince came back, it was like almost 2 decades had passed, and she was 10. So when she first met him, they had a party for him, and when they were sitting on a couch talking, and she was 10 years old. And so on the ride home that night, she says, Mom, the strangest thing happened. When I was sitting on the couch talking to the prince, she said, I know he's a real person, and I know he was a real person in your life. She said, but because he was a prince, I must have stored him in my mind with fairy tales, because it kept feeling like he just walked out of the book. So,
like Sleeping Beauty, huh?
Yeah,
and Cinderella.
It was so eerie. But I did want to give you guys, I made these bookmarkers.
Thank you.
These bookmarkers.
It's
Gilbert, I know that you've got intrigued. Yes. So this is a signed copy of my book for you.
Oh, thank you so much.
You already have yours.
Thank you.
So enjoy.
I definitely shall, and I will definitely introduce, because I told Melba, her as I said, her pseudonym is MJ Duffy, but her name is Melba Carter. And I told her when I hadn't read a book, and I was so busy I hadn't read a book, and I read her book, the first one, like in 24 hours.
Wow!
And I was just like blown away. Where does this imagination come from?
Yes.
And then when she put, and then then the second one came out, and I read that one, and so she's working on her third one right now.
And when books are connected, like to a spiritual dimension, or some people call it the muse, but there are other realities other than this one.
Yes.
And so if you actually write a book that accesses this other dimension, then through the book you actually get to bring the qualities of that dimension into your work. And so when people read it, they get to experience that expanded version of life, and so it expands their life as well.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So now, prior, which was actually timing always works, because I actually had you at the top of the show. But now that Gil has been on the show and talked about sales, because that's a big part. We're going to talk about the business side of your book now, because sometimes when we have our creativity, it's easy to put that, especially if that's what if you're right-brained and that works for you. But then the business side of the book, it goes to your left side of the brain, and the marketing and the sales.
It's a whole nother world. Because literally for 21 years I've been like this, writing and typing this, and then all of a sudden I'm like this, like connecting with people, connecting. So it's a new world for me. And Gil, I'm sure you were the first speaker there was a Recycling Black Dollars seminar on business relationships. And I was there.
She was there.
I was there. I came to all four of them. I took copious notes because I knew that now is the time for me to make the connections, for the book. And so my launch was like kind of my first presentation to the world.
Yes.
The book is available on Amazon in paperback and Kindle.
Yeah.
And so people can just, log in. If you read it, I'm asking you to go on and make a comment or review of it as you're reading it. And I'm on Facebook. So I really do need more help, probably.
Right, exactly, and very creative
a publicist or something like that to really help me.
And
let's talk to Gil and see if he knows how to market these.
Right,
books.
and then the young lady that's the publicist for the guy that writes the cartoon.
What
was the young? Yeah,
I don't remember her name.
I think I have her name, and she's a publicist, and she actually is Tana's publicist.
Yes, she is. Right?
Yeah, she's Tana's publicist. I will refer you over.
Refer me. And just hook me up with that person.
Lisa. Her name is
Lisa. Right, because
and I'm starting to get. So I realized this weekend I need attorneys or something to help me with contracts, because suddenly I'm getting calls. I got a call from Oakland. They want me to come
you gotta
do
have
something
contract.
at Stanford, do something.
What do they need to do?
5 or 6 to speak at a couple of groups at Stanford, speak at several churches in Oakland, speak as African American.
Are they
Museum.
paying you?
There's
for the
a whole
trip?
tour. So they will, but now I'm trying to think. Okay, so how much am I charging? So it's like all of this is coming in. I got invited to Atlanta in February, and
that's great.
Israel and Kenya. So all these things are kind of coming in. So I just need.
I can send you over a referral.
Business.
Right, it's a business, and I'm glad you said that.
Yeah,
it's a
new
business. So we do have. I have some referrals for an entertainment attorney.
I would like that.
Jai is part of the Bella Network, and so we have a couple of them, and so she can help you with the contracts, as well as. And I think you and I have talked about this. You're actually creating a marketing plan so that you're very definitive. But I also think, since hearing your story, that this would be good on a young people's level as well, because of the interwoven of the history, and then two of the what for our children would be like a fairy tale, right?
Yes, it would.
But a real fairy tale.
Yes.
And I think that would be excellent as well. So there are a number of youth groups out. In fact, home in CME Church, they have about 150 kids involved in their program. There's another lady that we had on the show. She had she's got about 200 kids in a program at LSU. As she's
Are they like high school age?
High school age.
Yeah, high school is a lovely age for the book. And something that you said, Gil, reminded me, because as a teacher, when I would share part of the story, the boys would be the ones to stay after class and say, tell us more.
Yes.
You know, and it was like, because I expected the girls to like it, but they want to know more. Really like the story as well. So I'm very happy
there's so many amazing avenues that you can go on and you can go through to get the book marketed. There's in fact, Melba, I took her, there's a hub up in Los Angeles. It is called the LA City Hub, and it's kind of a haven for writers. And they do, and the young lady's name is Marilyn Freeman. So Melba and I went to one of the groups sessions she had, and they had the writer that did the write for Sex and the City. And so they were there. So they kind of cultivate the whole, and they're all there. The publishers and everybody's in that.
Good.
So you need to be in that world.
Okay, I do.
Because I think your book needs that type of, not just Amazon. It needs to have a broader, and the story needs to be heard and read by many. Because it's a fascinating story. I mean, wow.
The unexpected part for me too is that, you know, when people read it, like I have a lot of people that are English professors, they said, wait a minute, this is literature. So that's like so exciting that the writing itself is beautiful, not just the story, but the writing is beautiful.
Now, because we talked about this, so over at LMU, Teshai
Publications.
Right.
No, that's a publishing house that's owned by Elias Wandimo.
Right. So they just launched the Harriet Tubman.
Oh, a series called Harriet Tubman.
No, he actually. So his story is, and we have to have him on the show. So you really need to contact him if you haven't spoken to him.
I know.
Yeah, if you haven't spoken to him in a while, because they just LMU. Sought him out.
Elliot, that's his name.
Elliot. To create Elias Wandima to put his publishing house, which is called Harriet Tubman, at the school.
LMU.
Yeah, and so they just did it event at Leimert Park like a month ago. And so one of the guys I play tennis with, he's part of, his name is Colin. And so reach out to him because they've been doing a lot of events and so forth, and you should be part of that. And it's part of the story of and when you go in his office, it's just absolutely amazing. When I've gone in there, everything is, I mean, just beautiful Ethiopian art and history and literature, and they're, you know, high quality. And so, if you haven't spoken to him in a while, reach out to him.
Okay, I will.
Because that would be a good outlet, because you actually could come in and do a book reading with the Black Student Union there. They're very, and I will give you Colin's information as well, because he goes out and finds the funding for LMU.
Those are really good pointers, Crystal.
Yeah, they really are. Really so we will talk.
Yeah,
and
because
I'll see you Tuesday anyway.
Yeah, because you got to get and I always Jasandra said hello, Gilbert.
Hi, Jasandra.
You know, I go to a lot of book expos, even the one that Dr. Rosie has, and I'll talk to a number of authors, and I'm always one of the presenters, and they write the book, and they just sitting like, okay.
And the
book is going to sell all by itself, right?
That's kind of what we think. We kind of think it's just going to sell itself. So
right, it's like, and they're like, okay, so let's get this going. Like somebody else is going to come along and like, okay, I did my part.
That's what it feels like. But you know, you suddenly get thrown into the reality that
so now you got to get into. And I would look at I would do my research now on book like Danielle Steele, reading her life, because she was pumping out a book like every 10 seconds on how they got their book to a place, because it's a new day and time, right? So editors have to come find you.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's like a dime. That's like a diamond in the rough nowadays. So, and I do know when 50 Shades of Grey, which I think was a very poorly written book, I couldn't get, because I'm a reader, or I was, and I couldn't get past the first chapter.
Yeah.
I tried. My friend, they comes like, just it gets better. No, it will never get better. This is horrible. But she made millions and millions of dollars. Why? Because she was speaking to some friends of hers who happened to be a junior editor at one of the big publishing houses. And they were at a book club reading, a book club. And they were reading the book, and they were like, oh, this book is, in their mind, is amazing. But I think it was really more the subject matter. That was amazing. Intriguing. And then they took it and made her a big star. But really, the book is really poorly written.
I read it. I read it.
I mean, that's for my opinion. I just couldn't get past it because the grammar was just too much for me. And the super holy cow, golly gee, I couldn't get past that.
For writers, just, it's important for our listeners who are writers to... I saw the value of getting edits. So literally, I had 5 different people edited my book. 5, it went through 5 other minds. Because after a while, as a writer, I can't see my mistakes. Because if the mistakes are there, I just add.
Right.
I fill it in when I read it. And then finally, when they all finished their edit, and I returned the final thing and I read it, it reads so... Before, I would always be nervous about finding something. It reads very beautifully now.
Okay, that's
so
fantastic.
Editing is important.
Okay, so we can sit down and talk about helping you create a marketing plan, and then giving you the referrals to whomever, and then but having a solid plan, just like he and I have a plan for how we run our business. This is where you are now. The next step is, how do I make this? Because this book could actually become a movie. So what do I need to do with this book in order to get it to that place, right? To leverage to that place. Who do I need to meet? And how do I need to elevate it to that? But they got to know where you are. So social media is a part of that. So getting a social media manager to run it. And that could be Jasandra, right, Jasandra? And she says, bring a book. She says, bring her your book to the RBD meeting, and she will buy one. But that's what she does. Jasandra does.
Tell Jasandra she always comes up for me. Jasandra has been circulating in my spirit,
That's good.
And it's like, okay, Jasandra. There's Jasandra popping up again.
So see, you hear that, Jasandra? She is calling you to help her. So she needs, and that's my second referral, because I think I referred another young lady to you. She goes, yes, a movie. So, but that could be the case.
Make sure you tell the audience how to get a hold of you.
Yes.
And what contact information you have.
Okay, so you could go on my Amazon.com, and then if you click my name, on the page, then you'll go to the author's page, and it has some more information.
And tell them your name.
And then my name is Teshai, Essiebea Farrell. And so you can reach me at Teshai7@AOL.com. That's my email. It's spelled TSEHAI 7@AOL.com.
Perfect.
And so, be in touch. So if you have book clubs, if you have speaking engagements or a conference and you want me to come and share the story, I'm available to do that. I'm starting to book now.
Okay, fantastic. So you and I will get together, and we're so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations on launching your book.
I appreciate being here.
Fantastic, and you've been a phenomenal guest. We're going to be wrapping up in a second, but we want if you can still get your ticket for the Crenshaw Christmas Ball this Saturday, December 9th from 7 to 11, and the address is 5426 Crenshaw Boulevard. There's a parking lot on the corner. Formal, bally, cocktaily attire. Cross Street is 54th and Crenshaw. Okay. Food is going to be phenomenal, entertainment, and we're just going to have a fantastic time.
Sounds like a plan to me.
And we will see you at RBD's meeting. RBD's meeting is Tuesday, the second Tuesday. We're wearing red and green or green. We're taking our holiday picture.
The Christmas color.
The Christmas color. Ian Fox is our speaker. So come on out. You can pick up Teshai's book there. And then Monday through Thursday, Gilbert and I will be in instruction mode at the Los Angeles Urban League. You can Google develop, grow, and develop,
grow, and thrive.
Launch, right?
Launch.
And then doing business with the state of California. So go to our YouTube, go to our Facebook page, and you can see the flyer there, or give us a call at 323-906-7004, and we'd love to see you next week.
Excellent, and thank you for joining us here on the Business Zone today. As you know, we're small businesses, we're small biz pros, and that's how we do it.
Right.
So we're out until next week, Friday, from 3 to 5.
Exactly. See you next week, guys.
Yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh, yeah. I'm a businessman. Yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh, yeah. I'm a businessman. Yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman. Yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh, yeah. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan? Just review the pages of my marketing plan. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan? Just review the pages of my marketing plan. Got my capability statement, yes, I'm ready to go. Got my balance sheet, my P&L, my statement of cash flow. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan? Just review the pages of my marketing plan. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan? Just review the pages of my marketing plan. Got my capability statement, yes, I'm ready to go. Got my balance sheet, my P&L, my statement of cash flow. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, got an appointment with the Essiebea, my business license and my CPA. A contract with the MTA, my business license and my CPA. As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. Yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.